What's good, money getters? It's your girl, Mommy Money Getter, aka Mommy Go Getter. Why is it so hard to say Mommy Money Getter? I don't know, but you guys, it's Mommy. Say it with me, Mommy Money Getter. Okay, and you guys are all the money getters. How is everyone doing today on this beautiful Wednesday evening? Okay, I know it's 9 p.m. or later or earlier, depending on where you're at. Me, I'm on the West Coast where it matters most. Just kidding. But I'm over here in California kicking it. Yesterday, I'm sorry, guys, I got stuck at the beach and it was super traffic on that 405 freeway, okay? And I didn't get home in time for the show. So sorry about that. But tonight I am back. Without delay. Okay. No Hope Lene tonight. Hope Lene, please keep her in your thoughts. Hope Lene is dealing with a private issue, but she will be back as soon as possible. You know, she loves coming on here and giving her point of view. So yes, I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come on in. It is so hot here too. So hot. It was so hot at the beach. Oh my gosh. I think I got a little sunburn. Um, I'm already chocolate, but I still burn. Okay. We neglected to take sunscreen, but we did have a big umbrella. But it was 83 at the beach. And honey, when I tell you, it was beaming down. Okay. Sage, what's good? How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Guess what? We have an action-packed live tonight. We have to talk about Nolan. Let me get my notes, but I'm just trying to let everybody get in. I missed you guys last night. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. Please like the live. Please share the live. Last month, the other day on Monday, I think it was, I had the most live listeners since I started doing the sisters group chat. And go figure, because I was kind of busy on Monday and I almost didn't come on. Yeah, 6 p.m. every day, Simply Sage, every single day from now on, at least for the time being. I normally do it with my sister Hope Lene, the sisters group chat. We've been talking about hot topics and things like that. And we want to kind of get into doing like other things that I know the money getters are interested in, like relationships. But Big Sis wants to do that for the members only. So if you're not a member, get your membership. There's no time like right now because we do have a lot planned for my channel. So yes, let me see. 10 of you are in here. Please hit the like button and say hello. Let me know where you're listening from, if you're at work or if you're at home, which state you're listening from, what time is it where you're at, and what topic are you interested in hearing me talk about tonight? We got Nolan. I've been keeping you guys up to date on everything that's going on with Nolan Wells. Look at his face. Like every time I see his face, I think about, and I know that his family thinks about him, but I think that right now, thanks for the Silver Star, Isla. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Ebony, thanks for coming in. I feel like so much has been made of who did it, what happened, that I feel like Nolan is getting a little bit lost in all of the public scrutiny and criticisms. Cardi B says she feels like Britney Spears. What I talked about that the other day, but she actually came on and did like a little live saying that, because Maduka, I think his name is Okoye. Maduka's baby mama came out with all these allegations, honey. I mean, she went in. And Cardi B says that happens with her all the time. Well, I'm just wondering, why is it that you always find men with the baby mama drama? But we're going to get into that, as well as LeBron. I think the NBA let it slip that he's going to the Miami Heat. So we're going to discuss that. I know LeBron, like the whole NBA is waiting on him to decide where he's going to, like. And LeBron said that his, what he where he chooses to go depends on his family. He said he's really trying to make sure that he puts his family first. He wants to win and he wants to go somewhere where he can win, I guess, a championship, but he's putting his family first. So we'll talk about that. And Oprah says she used to be a foot dragging bird. Okay. For real, that's what she said. She said she was, running after men and chasing after men. I couldn't really imagine Oprah doing that, but that's what she said. No, that's what she said. And we're gonna get into all of the jewels that she dropped on Keke Palmer's podcast. We also have child, I don't know why she did this, but Dr. Cheyenne Bryant decided that she was going to do that Netflix challenge, like if you had a documentary. So we're going to get into that and talk about her. But all she did was remind everyone that she don't have that doctorate, allegedly. So we're going to talk about that too. Hey, TSM, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, 6 p.m. every day. So if you're at work and you want some good conversations to listen to some good hot topics, or if you just like listening to me talk, join in. I'm gonna probably, I don't know if I'm gonna put the link in tonight, because when I get to talking about certain things, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm gonna put that on tonight, but put the link out. But if I do put the link up, because I don't have a co-host, I think I could wing it on my own. I feel like I do better when I have someone else to, debate with, but I can do it on my own too. What do you guys think? Let me know. What do you prefer? Do you prefer me debating, or do you prefer me just talking about myself? Because I think I can do both. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Let's get started. Again, hit the like button if you already haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and share this live out. I appreciate you for doing so. So yes, with that being said, welcome everyone. If you're just coming in, like I said, don't forget to hit that like button and introduce yourself in the chat. I see some of you have already done that. I appreciate that. I want to give a disclaimer though. Everything discussed tonight comes from publicly available reporting, interviews, podcasts, and social media posts. Any opinions shared are my own and are for commentary purposes only. Allegations remain allegations unless proven in court, and everyone deserves due process. Okay. So let's get to Nolan Wells' investigation. I think it was early this morning that they did a live press conference with Nolan's parents, Ben Crump, and some members of the NAACP, I believe, some of Ben Crump's associates. And Ben Crump, and you guys know how I feel about that. I feel like I'm glad that Nolan's family has Ben Crump and has Al Sharpton to back them up and to help get justice for him, because it is so needed. I do feel like we don't know what happened. It's a real life whodunit, right? And I think a lot of people are interested in this story because you have black and white, okay? You have a real life whodunit. And this is a young man who left this earth in his, when he had so much life ahead of him. He was handsome. And also he had a lot going for him. It is very horrifying, because it's like, how could it be 300 people there and nobody seen what happened? And then with the friends, okay, I don't want to make it a race issue. And I don't know if it was a race issue, so I'm not going to say that. Even Ben Crump and Nolan's parents are sidestepping that. They're just basically saying, hey, we don't feel like, we feel like there was a rush to judgment like before. Nolan's mother said that, and I just found this out today, that within an hour, the police was saying that there was no foul play suspected. Within an hour, you didn't even do an autopsy. He just washed ashore. He said, well, that's it. What? Where do they do that at? That's incompetence, if anything. And I see why, for that reason, why the parents needed somebody like a Ben Crump. Okay, that's number one. Number two, why did those boys wait until 11:30 at night to even alert authorities or his parents that he was missing? Why didn't they say, hey, his car keys are here, his phone is here? You should have been calling up his mother, like when you saw that because those boys didn't really get home till about 7:30. They didn't leave the dock until 7:30 themselves. So I don't think a lot of people realize that. They feel like, okay, well, they left at 4:30, but they didn't dock until 7:30 and then they went home. So probably as time went on, they probably said, wait a minute, Nolan's not back. He should have been back by now. But why didn't you know his phone was there? His keys, you saw his car because you had his keys. So, and the mother hasn't said it. She hasn't said that they have came to her and said, look, ma'am, your son was with us, but he told us he was going to stay with a friend. There was 300 people there. It was lots of people there. But I don't understand why Nolan didn't leave with who he came with or why he wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like you're on a whole island on a boat. And they do have proof, those boys do have proof that they did call a tow company because their boat was in bad shape. It was starting to sink. So they did call for help and ask, that they be towed back to the mainland. So they do have proof of that. They have the GPS for that. And they do have the phone call to the tow company. It's not a good case. It's a very, very horrifying, very terrifying. Only God knows. I believe somebody else knows because already someone came up with a video of Nolan. So who else has a video? Who else has pictures? He didn't just vanish into thin air. He didn't just fall off the face of the earth, just fall off the island and he couldn't swim. And nobody saw that. Somebody saw what happened. They lawyered up really quick, those boys. They didn't go to the funeral. And they haven't said anything. They haven't pleaded their case. They haven't said anything. And when I just told you guys I went to the beach with my children yesterday. They didn't even really go in the water. I didn't want them to go in the water. As a matter of fact, there were so many people at the beach, but very few people in the water. Those waves was rolling in and crashing in per usual, but there wasn't many people in the water because people are starting to realize, yes, the ocean is beautiful, and yes, it calls you, it beckons you to come on in, but you want to be careful. Even if you do know how to swim, you want to be careful, extra careful when going out there into the ocean because man is no match for the ocean. I'm just going to put it out there like that. Man is no match for the ocean. Even if you're an Olympic swimmer, I said this the other day, but especially if you don't know how to swim. Some would even say, some have suggested that Nolan, because he's a person of color, shouldn't have went out there as the only person of color. But I think it's being reported that, so don't hold me on this, but I believe there was other boys who were Nolan's complexion there as well. But anyway, we're going to get to the nitty gritty. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about this this autopsy. Let me see if I can get it here. This autopsy report that was done by an independent pathologist. The medical examiner in Mississippi did one. She did it first. And then Nolan's family had a independent pathologist complete an autopsy as well. Well, how could it be about money? What's about money? What's about money? Because they don't know what happened to their son, Curtis. If it was your child, let's just, okay, before we get to this, and I just want to give a trigger warning to anyone who's watching this. I'll be discussing someone being unalived, and some things that I'm talking about may trigger someone. So maybe you want to step away from this part of the show. But I just want everybody to take away whatever feelings you have as far as black or white or race relations. Think about, this is someone's son. This is someone's son that we're talking about. 18 years old. He wasn't a bad kid by all accounts. No one has had anything to say about him. Everyone, his friends said, that was my brother. That was my best friend. No one said anything bad about Nolan. The first autopsy said, to answer your question, Smiley, before the autopsy, they were saying that no foul play was expected within an hour. So an investigation hadn't been completed. So Smiley, we can't go based off of what did the first autopsy say, because the DA has not released the findings from the first autopsy. So let's start there. We don't know what the first autopsy said. So anyone saying that the first autopsy said anything is incorrect. Right now, it's all conjecture, because no one, as far as I know, unless it leaked, no one should have any clue about what the first autopsy said, because it has not been released to the public. Now, the second autopsy, however, was completed on the 19th. That's when Ben Crump says he received the report from the pathologist on July 19th. The body, as Ben Crump said, it was found and washed ashore on July 6th. The next day, an autopsy was completed by the Mississippi medical examiner. And then after that, his body was flown to Washington, D.C. The pathologist did not receive it until the 10th. And I got my notes here. So let me go through that, because I did watch the press conference, and many of you did not. You guys are reading headlines. You're not even reading. You're going to these blogs. You're going to these news sites. You're reading the headline, and then you don't even read the whole entire article. And that's what's going on with a lot of you. How are your children passing their classes if all we do is read a headline and then we go on about our way? How do we know it's a cover-up? I think they rushed to judgment, but we don't know if there was a cover-up. We don't know if there's anything to be covered up, because, and we're going to go through this autopsy, so, we're going to go through it. I did watch the entire press conference, and I listened to everything Ben Crump had to say. So when I came tonight, what's good, no ego, I could give you guys accurate information, not based on my feelings and emotions, because I don't operate like that. What good does that do any of us? We have to stop rushing to judgment. We have to stop getting overly emotional, and we have to be fair, and we have to be concerned with justice, not just for Nolan, not just for African Americans, for everyone, for every child. I have 5 daughters. Some of my daughters are teenagers. And if my kid, when we were at the beach, okay, my daughter's friend came. He's 17 years old. And he said, no, he was going to wait for, I'm like, I'm out of here. Traffic is about to be out of control. Let's go. You came with me, you're leaving with me, because this Nolan stuff is right in the forefront of my mind, and as it should be for any parent. Going forward, everybody, I don't care what color that you are, should be having this conversation with your kid. If whoever you leave here with, you need to come back with. If they leave early, you leave early. You go there and you come back. Period. Period. The reason why you don't know about the first autopsy, Smiley, is because the DA is sending it, okay, the case to the grand jury. Okay? The case is being sent to the grand jury. And they said this happens in any case where they don't know what happened. That's what, all I can go by is what is being said. You guys are jumping to conclusions. It could have been an accident. It could have been that Nolan drowned and nobody saw him. And it could have been that there was foul play involved. We do not know anything at the moment. We got to stop jumping to conclusions. We got to stop blaming each other, because I'm going to tell you something. You don't look good saying, oh, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, when you don't even have a complete investigation. Right now, we're all speculating. You guys are speculating. And like I said, you don't have all the facts, but tonight you're going to get them. So let me go ahead and tell you what I learned. Okay. Okay. So ultimately, Nolan's parents said they haven't spoken to investigators since 2 days after Nolan was found. That's the last time his parents heard from detectives or investigators, okay? They haven't spoken a word to her. They could have updated her or his parents, especially with this being such a public case, such a hot case right now. You would think that the detectives would keep the family, hey, we're working on it. This is what's going on. He told her that had to have been the 8th. Today is the 22nd. So 14 days ago, she hasn't heard from him. However, they did hear from the DA. And the investigator did have a conference and say, hey, or he spoke to the news and said, hey, we have interviewed 60 witnesses at this point, and we're still interviewing people. And the DA said she has the investigation, and that she will, once it's all complete, they will be sending it to the grand jury. So the case is moving along. Again, the independent pathologist who was hired by Colin, his services were paid for by Colin Kaepernick for the family. He paid for that. And here's the details. There were no fractures to the body, no deep tissue injury that the pathologist could see, because the body was decomposed upon receipt. So the pathologist said that there wasn't a lot to work with, because number one, the body was decomposed. It had been in water for 2 days, almost 2 days. And number two, the body had already had an autopsy. So it was difficult for him to perform the second autopsy to find out what was going on. Okay. And you guys, I need you guys to help me out moderating the chat. If you see something, report it, because I can't be here, and here. Okay, so if you see somebody being disrespectful, just please report them and we'll get them out of here. Okay, I don't mind you guys giving your opinions. I love for my chat to go up and to speak their mind. Everybody is welcome here, as long as you are respectful. Okay. We don't do that racist stuff. We don't do that bullying stuff. We don't do that, insult stuff. You can speak your mind. We're all adults here without you being derogatory or insulting. So please, govern yourselves accordingly. Thank you. All right. It's a lot. So if I go back and forth a little bit, please forgive me. It's a lot. It's an emotional topic. And I understand how everyone is feeling. I understand how African Americans feel, because they feel like we never get justice. We never get justice. And I can understand if I was a white American, I would feel like, dang, how come we're always getting blamed? How come we're always getting demonized? Both of you have the right to feel how you feel, but how can we change that? We can't change it by continuing to do this. At some point, we have to say, you know what? Especially in a case like this, like, how does it get to the point where there should be any misunderstandings? This child, because he was a kid to me, 18, 19 is a child. How do we get to the point where we're having a disagreement over if this child should receive an accurate investigation, a complete investigation as to what happened to him? This wasn't a bad kid. This wasn't a YN. This wasn't a kid that was out hitting people over the head. And no, this was a kid. And even if that was that kid, everybody deserves to have justice if something happened to them. But he wasn't that kid. This was a kid that came from a 2-parent home. This was a kid who was in college, who had his whole life ahead of him. So if he doesn't deserve justice, who does? Exactly, Smiley. Too much technology in this world. But they were on an island, though. That's the whole thing. They weren't like at a public space, okay, or at someone's house where you could probably see Nolan walking down the street or Nolan getting in the car. They were on an island. You can't even dock boats on this island. You had to literally get out the boat and swim to the shore. We don't know if he drowned or not, because guess what? The independent pathologist said that they could not determine how he passed away. All of the organs were there, but they did not say if he drowned or not. According to Ben Crump, the pathologist said that, and the chat is going, so, if I miss your chat, you can put $1 super chat up, 99-cent super chat up, and your chat will get highlighted and I can read it easier. Just saying, you don't have to, but just so if I miss you. The pathologist did not say, and you guys already know, I was not shocked. And guys, please hit the like button for me if you're just getting in. So, it's 92 of you in here. Please hit the like button. And like I said, if I see it, you're getting banned and your comment is getting deleted. So, but alive something means it should not divide us, though. Why would someone who lost their life with no answers, the people who he left with don't have any answers, the police don't have any answers, nobody should be up in arms about this. Everybody should be upset with the authorities who just rushed to judgment and said, well, he washed ashore, that's it, I guess he drowned. Wait a minute. Back to what the independent pathologist said. There's no way to determine how Nolan got in the water. There's no way to determine if something happened to him before he got in the water. So we don't know, pending investigation. But guys, check this out. Do you see the red on, this is from the medical examiner. Check out the top picture with the red on it. The pathologist says that he did see bruising in his soft tissues. And catch this, his throat was missing. His whole entire throat structure was missing. So he couldn't determine if he had been strangled or not, because the entire throat structure, all of his organs were there. But the independent pathologist did not say if he drowned, because he said he was too decomposed and his organs had already been examined, so he could not determine. And I'm sure, and I just want to know, did the family already know this before they hired him? Like, why would you pay him just to say he doesn't know? Like, why would you let him have Nolan's body and just for him to open them up again, preventing him from having peace, because they said that they couldn't even show his body because it was that badly decomposed. But the pathologist is saying that he did see some bruising. He said there was no broken bones, though. No broken bones, but his findings were inconclusive, pending an investigation. So right now, the second autopsy, so we're clear, cannot rule out foul play in Nolan Wells' death, and the findings are undetermined, pending investigation. Okay? No fractures to the body, no deep tissue injuries. Body was too decomposed for the pathologist to make an accurate determination. There were no bruises, but the pathologist said that he checked under his scalp because the pathologist wanted to know that the previous medical examiner did not do this. So he had to go in there, and I guess he lifted the skin up and he could see that there was bruising to his soft tissues, and you don't bruise after you pass away. So this had to happen before he. Did Nolan get hit in the head? Did Nolan fall and bump his head? Okay. And is that how he ended up drowning? Did he fall on a boat and hurt himself? Did something happen on the boat and he got thrown over? No Ego says they believe, honestly, I believe the parents made a mistake hiring Crump, and the racial element he brings to the investigation. He sets a very divisive tone. I don't think it should have been, well, he's a civil rights attorney. That's what he does. And he's definitely stirring up emotion. Okay. That's definitely what he's doing. And I'm not sure that I agree with that either. And I don't care how anybody feels about that. The reason why the neck structures, because a lot is being made of that. I see a lot of it because a lot of blogs are leading with that clickbait. His neck structures are missing, but the medical examiner that Nolan's parents hired said that it's not uncommon for the neck structures to be missing because the Mississippi medical examiner may still be examining the neck structures to determine what may have happened to him. So that's not uncommon for those neck structures to be missing. A lot of people suspect the girl that said that. A lot of people suspect her. Listen, if you can't be respectful, one angry Black lady, out you're gonna go. Okay, you're gonna go be mad and angry somewhere else. These are my opinions. If you don't like it, go somewhere else with someone who's gonna parrot everything just the way you like it. Go engage in groupthink somewhere else. Because if you can't handle someone having a different opinion than yours, like, come on, please. Like, you want to be able to think, or you want to be able to think and agree? Or you just want somebody to agree with you? Or do you want somebody to challenge your thoughts? We do not know what happened to Nolan. His friend said he stayed on the island. And here's the issue I had with today as well. Paid the medical examiner. I don't know how much he was paid. You had that baby. Because 18 is a baby. I'm almost 50. 18 is a baby to me. They had that baby flown to another state, okay? He didn't have a chance to rest and be properly buried for another 2 weeks after he passed away. He had his body autopsied twice. Had that baby flown to another state, paid to have an independent autopsy done just for the medical examiner not to come and even, explain his findings to the press. He wasn't available, or she wasn't available. I think he said it was a man. What part of the game is that? If I paid you to examine my baby's body from the beginning, there should have been an agreement as to what was expected of this new medical examiner. Look, I'm going to need you at the press conference after you do XYZ. I'm just saying, because as I'm saying it, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's, outside of his, scope of profession or whatever. Maybe he didn't want to do that because, it's not, pretty much something that's done. Well, I wouldn't want to show my child's decomposed body. I'm not doing it. I'm not just putting my child out there for everybody to see. What is that going to do for the public to see? I know with Emmett Till, and today, Ben Crump compared Nolan to Emmett Till, who was 13 years old and who was beaten and dragged, and I mean, he was mutilated. Nobody ever paid for his loss either. He compared Nolan's passing away to Emmett Till's. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. I don't know if that was crossing the line or not, because we still don't know. We do know that both medical examiners said that there was no bruising to the body, no broken bones. So why would you compare Nolan to Emmett Till? Emmett Till was badly beaten. He was tortured. Now, as far as I know, that didn't happen to Nolan. As far as I know, Nolan drowned. Now, how he drowned, how he ended up in the water, because again, the autopsy from the first medical examiner has not been released. And the second medical examiner has not said that he drowned. He said he couldn't find out what happened to him. He said the body was too decomposed to determine what happened to him. So wait a minute. Again, why in the hell would you pay somebody to tell you they don't know? Chat, help me out. Who wastes money like that? That was a waste of time. And this press conference was a waste of time with Ben Crump, because why were you explaining it? Now, if you couldn't get the medical examiner who completed the autopsy, why couldn't you find another medical examiner, a doctor, a nurse, a phlebotomist, or somebody? But as far as I know, Ben Crump, your expertise is civil law. Like, since when were you, proficient in explaining medical reports? How'd you go, Aaron Powell? How you sound? You don't sound like nothing because you gone. Well, Donna, because I was talking to my mom about this. Talked to my mom about everything. I said, how did the body decompose in 2 days? And my mom said, when the body is in water, and this is the same thing that the medical examiner said, since the body was in water, it decomposes faster. You have to remember, the last time Nolan was saw was on the 4th of July. They don't know when he went in the water, but his body didn't come ashore until July 6th. His body was found face down and fully clothed. Right. So that was just my thing. That was from the beginning. I was like expecting the medical examiner to come out and explain his findings in detail. That did not happen. Okay. I highly expected that the medical examiner would either say, A, he found that Nolan drowned, or B, it was inconclusive, pending toxicology reports. But he actually said inconclusive, pending further investigation. So we are no further than we were before they released their information. And they actually got the report back on the 19th, but I'm suspecting, or I feel that since Nolan's uh, funeral was on the 20th, they wanted to properly bury Nolan and then give the family, I guess, a couple of days to compose themselves to have um, this press conference. Somebody said he was mispronouncing. Now, see, now, I'm not going to hold that against him because, listen, I'm well read. I'm actually an author. I have several published books. However, I get so tongue-tied when I come on here, when I get to talking, because you have to realize I speak several different languages. But no, but really, I think you get tongue-tied if you're not a journalist and you're not, well, then he speaks in front of the public frequently, but I know as for me, I do get tongue-tied in, I'm horrified to say that I do mispronounce words a lot because, it's a little different when you're on here and you're speaking to someone. And that's why I said earlier, when my sister's on here, I feel like I do a little bit better because I have that banter going back and forth and it's more natural communication for me. This is not natural to me. So I'm not going to hold that against him, but he's highly educated. He's an attorney and he's won millions of dollars. So whether he's well-spoken or not, he gets the job done. And he's keeping this case in front of the public. Like, this is the biggest news event right now. They got Nancy Grace on it. And Nancy is going to break it down and put it all back together again. She is on she is on fire right now about this case. It's in mainstream media. It's everywhere. Everybody is talking about Nolan Wells because, again, the story involves all the elements of a good news story and people, and it touches the heart of every parent. This is every parent's worst nightmare. You send your child, or you know your child is out somewhere, and most of us parents, we don't want to let our children go out to islands and go out with their because teenagers get into trouble. I'm a mother of teens, and I pray over my kids, and I talk to them. I talk to them, and that's what you got to do. You have to talk to these kids till they're blue in the face. But earlier I said my daughter's friend came to the beach with us, and I had to speak to his grandmother and get clarification. She wanted him to stay there and wait for her. And she said she was about 30 minutes away. The kid is 17. I said, he came with me. I wanted to take him back home with me. You come to my house and get him. Because I didn't pick him up from the beach. But grandma said it was okay. And I said, are you sure? She said, no, he's good. And he said, look, I do this. I go out on my own. But for me, you're not leaving my kid at the beach. And if you let my kid at the beach with hundreds of people in that, in California beaches, it's all sorts of schizophrenic people walking around. I mean, it's a lot of regular people, but things have changed. I mean, people talking to themselves and all of that. All sorts of things can happen. I didn't want to leave him at the beach, and then when his grandmother got there, it took her about a good 20 minutes to find him. My child wanted to stay there with him. I said, no, you're coming. If he don't want to come, that's on him. But parents, follow your first mind. If you don't feel okay about it, if you don't feel good about it, tell your kid no. All this 18 is grown, 19 is grown. No, they're not grown. They're not grown so they can show that they are responsible for themselves until they can't go on your tax return. And as far as I know, you can still pay for their medical. You can still put a 26-year-old on your medical insurance, in California at least, and you can still be responsible for paying for your child's college education. So as long as they're still under your rule, as long as you're still financially responsible for them, your kids need to do what you say, and you need to make it plain to your kids. Hey, no, you're not going out to, wait a minute. Who's responsible? Who's going to be out there? What adults are going to be there? Is there going to be any drinking? Wait a minute. What kids are going? Whose mama's going to be there? Because I want to speak to the mama. Forget what the kids say. I want to know whose mama and daddy was there. Because why in the hell didn't you bring my son back? You're on Facebook, you're on everywhere else, but where you should be, at my door telling me, hey, your son didn't want to come with us. And if the cell phone service wasn't working, no, Nolan, you came with us, you get back on this boat with us. Because I'm not going to be left to explain to your mom and dad what happened to you. You come on and get on this boat with us. First of all, it wasn't Crump, Robert, and I am on my facts, who said that. It was actually a representative of the Cajun Navy who said that he was fully dressed. And on his and Crump said that today, that the representative from the Cajun Navy is actually who told them that. It wasn't Crump. Okay? So you brush up on your facts. Don't tell me, like I said, you guys are looking at social media posts and comments. You're coming here with comments. That's where you got your information from. Because if you didn't, you would know that the guy from the Cajun Navy is actually the one who said it on TMZ. Okay? Get it right. Now you're getting out of here, Robert. Y'all just getting banned left and right. He was not clothed, just a swimming trunks. That's what they said. That he was fully, those are the words that Ben Crumps used, fully clothed. Those are the words that the guy from the Cajun Navy, I don't want to say his name and mispronounce it, but that's what he said as well to Harvey on TMZ. We do know that they haven't said that. They just said Nolan was a good boy. They didn't say if Nolan was a drinker or not, or a smoker. But almost everybody there said that these kids were drinking. They're not safe, Curtis. Absolutely prayers for Nolan's family, because at the end of the day, we can't forget that he has parents that want to know what happened to him. And again, all of you guys in here, making it about race, getting angry and all of that. This is somebody's child. And if it happened to their child, don't think it can't happen to yours, white or black, brown, red, whoever. These kids get out here with their friends and they get into trouble. Every time you send your kid out with their friends, you're taking the chance that your kid can get into trouble when they're not with you, under your watchful gaze, under your direction and guidance. When your kids are not with you, and that's something that people have to know too, and that's one thing I want to say. When your kids are not with you, we don't know how they behave, number one. Number two, everybody saying no kid leaves their cell phone on the boat. No kid would do this. We taught Nolan to leave with who he came with, right? But when somebody leaves this earth, I want you guys to understand this, nothing will be the same about them. It's like their spirit knows everything is different. Things they normally would do, they don't do. Because I'm going to say this, and this is going to rile you guys up, but whatever was responsible, it was Nolan's time. Whoever had his cell phone, whatever Nolan, whether he was staying behind with the girl, whether he got back on the boat, unfortunately, it was his time. And everything about that day was going to be out of the ordinary. When people leave this earth, nothing is the same. Like people say, it was a different day. The weather was different. You ever heard people say that when they lose a loved one? The day was different. I just knew something was going to happen that day. Like, when my ex-husband passed away, my children's father, I couldn't sleep for a whole month. And that morning, I heard somebody say something to me and I woke up. Everything is different when somebody is leaving this earth. Everything is different. Things they normally would do, they don't do because they know they're leaving this earth. My mother has always told me that. Some of you may not be believers and some of you may not think like that. But, you know, but yes, we're no closer to finding out the truth than we were before we heard this medical examiner's report. In my mind, it was a waste of money, a waste of time, completely worthless. We don't know anything that we didn't know before. And we were awesome. Where's an independent pathologist report? It was Juan. Let me get him out of here. A lot of trolls, I don't see them. Let me see. Because we're going to get them out here. Report them. Please report them. Report any trolls that you see. I don't see a one. Maybe he's in my other chat. Let me go to that one. Because I'm going to get him out of here. And I want you guys to hit the like button. It's only a few of you who hit the like button. And that's crazy. 23 likes. Come on, that's crazy. And that lets me know it's a lot of trolls in here. So I'm going to get you up out of here. You don't need to be over here thinking you're going to talk mess in my chat. You're going to stay here. We're not playing that. You know that. Were you there, Jim? Get out of here. Get out of here. You're gone. Mary Hemphill says, my son got in a car with a drunk coming back from the beach. My son is still alive, but brain damage from a vehicle accident. If your child calls you and tells you, not saying this happened, Mary Hemphill, and I'm sorry to hear what happened to your child, because hindsight is 2020. You know, I'm glad they have Uber now. Before we didn't have Uber, so we can give our kids Uber money, right? We can give our kids cell phone. A lot of you parents don't like for your kids to have cell phones. Well, they're too young. They're on the cell phone too much. These kids have their cell phones. It's like having a low jack on them, because once I don't see him. Report him, please. Report him. I can't see him over here. Report him. Report him. Everybody, if you see Juan Williams, or Juan Martinez, please report him. I wouldn't want to stay there anymore. Because first of all, anybody, if you didn't see them drown, right? Like if nobody was there to say, well, we saw him flailing around, we tried to get to him, but we couldn't in time, or by the time we got to him, we tried to perform CPR, because there was a mother recently. I don't know if you guys have read that story. Her 4-year-old was reaching into the lake and tried to catch something, a toy or something, and he fell in and she jumped in right after him. The son was saved. And by the time they could get the mom and save her, they performed CPR on her, but she drowned. It doesn't take but seconds to drown. That's number one. But people were there to say, hey, this is what happened. The mother went in after the son. We did get her out. We did perform CPR, but she unfortunately lost her life. We know what happened. There's witnesses there to say what happened. I'm sure the son could say, I was trying to get my toy and my mommy tried to get me and my mommy's not here. You have witnesses. How is it that nobody knows what the hell happened? That's not racist to ask what happened to my son. It's not racist to say my son left on a boat with you. Where is my son? It's not racist to say, how in the hell do you have his phone, his keys, but you do not know where my son is? How is it 11:30 at night and my son's car is still parked in front of your house? He spent the night at your house, but you don't know where my son is. How is my son your best friend, like a brother to you, but you don't even come to me and have enough decency to say, hey, listen, ma'am, I know You're hurting. I know you want to know, but we don't know. We were too busy with the boat. It was sinking. We had to get a tow out of there. Nolan wanted to stay. Nolan wanted to stay. He was talking to so-and-so, and we had to get the boat out of there. It was sinking and we had to go. He didn't want to come back with us. Go to his mother and say that. Thanks for tuning in from Dublin, Ireland, Lorraine. His name is Nolan. And he, for those of you who don't know, Nolan Xavier Wells went out to Horn Island, which is in Mississippi. Okay. And he went on a boat with his friends on the 4th of July. His friends returned to the mainland, but Nolan didn't. There were over 300 to 400 people on that island. And as far as we know, no one saw a thing. But we do know somebody saw something. Thanks for the flower, the boxing scholar. Thanks for tuning in, bro. We don't know that. Thanks for the 100, the boxing scholar. Thanks for the other 100. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. We don't know what happened. Juice. Ooh, Juice. Let them know. Let them know you go to the party with 5 people, but only one person care about you. I mean, if you're not with your family and friends, right? Because in my child said, I'm going out on a boat. I'm going to be like, you don't know. My nephew was with me. We were all at the beach. I just got my new ride. I'm like, let's go put some miles on her. We're going to the beach. I've been putting miles on my baby all week. We're going to the beach. Got my nieces and nephews, got my daughters, got their friends with us. We're headed down the Pacific Coast Highway, okay? My nephew gets to talking about, oh, I know how to swim. And I call my mom. Mom, so-and-so's, G-Mom. I call her G-Mom. G-Mom, so-and-so says he knows how to swim. And she said, let him swim when he's with his mama. My rule, walk along the shore. I was not playing that because I had kids that did not come out of my body at the beach from me. First of all, I'm not running out after you to risk my life. I'm telling you right now, you stay by that shore, you let those waves crash into your ankles, and you be good with that because you know what? You don't know how to swim. No, you don't know how to swim. I've never seen you swim in my life. I know you have a pool in your backyard, but your pool is an above ground pool. It's like one of those big pools that you get from Walmart, probably comes to his waist, like you could literally stand up in it. Boy, bye. You're not going out there into that ocean, okay? And while we were there, the lifeguards went out there after somebody. I mean, it's surfers out there halfway drowned. Please. Gertrude says, poor young man. And we're going to talk about it as long as you guys want to talk about it because we're hurting right now. This is affecting all of us. Gertrude says, poor young man, what a circus. I'm from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I pray that it will soon be discovered that you are all wrong. And you know what, Gertrude? Girl, bye. Or boy, bye. Like, for real. You need Jesus. You guys hate being held accountable, and that's sad. You hate being held accountable. You hate having your feet brought to the fire. You hate it. You hate it, and that's sad. I don't care about right or wrong. I care about finding out what happened to this kid because I'm a mom. I'm a mama first. I'm a mama first. And some of you know what I used to do for a living. I care about kids. All that racist stuff, all that, oh, well, this didn't happen to him, this and that. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about any of that. Like I said, whether it was racist, whether it was just, it's all pure evil to take a life of someone who, by all accounts, was a decent human being. It's evil as hell to take somebody out on a boat and not bring them back. It's evil as hell to go to somewhere, someplace with somebody and come back and not have answers for his parents. Hey, I left him standing with this girl right here. When we left, because the last time I seen Nolan, they said the last time they seen him was 3 o'clock. Standing here, right here at this spot. No, go with his parents to Horn Island and show them exactly where you left their son. Since you like being on the boat anyway, since you got a boat, take your boat, because they didn't even offer their boat to go look for him. They didn't even help look for their best friend. This is your best friend. You mean to tell me you're not out on the boat going to look for this kid? You too busy going to hire an attorney, but you guys want to get in here and talk about, oh, everybody's trying to make this a race issue. What part of the game is that? That's your friend. Nolan is like a brother to you, but you're not out there on that island looking for his body. He wasn't found for 2 days, but you didn't go out there with him, with his family. Where was your parents at? Because if that's my best friend, if that's my bosom buddy, if we're like brothers, I love him, I'm hurting too, I'm going to be out there on that island and I'm going to be a part of that search party. Man, Mom, Dad, this is where we seen him at. He was talking to the girl right here. He said, I'm going to catch a ride back with so-and-so. Who did he say he was going back with? We know you said he left. You guys are all cool. This is how bros do live. You know what? I'm chilling with Shorty. Or however they said, I'm chilling with her, you know, whatever. Like, you sure, bro? Because we're trying to get up out of here. We want to get out of here. All right. I'm just going to stay. I'm going to get a ride back. Who are you going to get a ride with? I don't know. Somebody, bro. We can't just leave you here. Who are you leaving? Who are you going to get a ride back? Make sure before we leave. All right. So can I get a ride back with you and your family? Yeah, he's good. He's good. He can come back with us. We're leaving pretty soon anyway. He can leave with us. All right. So Nolan, so you go back to the mom. We left Nolan right here in this spot. He was talking to Shorty. She said that he was good. Or his other best friend was here. They said that he was good. He can catch a ride back with them. We leave. Our boat is sinking. And at that point, we had to get up out of Dodge. Simple. Being self-righteous. I said they should have told his parents what happened. Call it whatever you want to. Call it whatever you want to. I haven't seen that movie. Oh, what movie is that? Well, they're all on Marie, you know, they're all on the island. And from my understanding, there is no phone service out there, which is why everyone leaves their phone on the boat, because they have to swim from the boat to shore. You can't dock the boat on the shore. So everybody leaves their phones on on the boat, according to his friends. This is according to his friends. You're welcome, Lorraine. You know what, Curtis? I know this. Now, I don't go on boats. I don't know how to swim, number one. And I just don't like the ideal of being out there in that big, vast ocean. Ooh, it's so spooky to me. But listen, my family members go on cruises all the time. And when you get on a boat, your phone, there's no phone service out there in the ocean. You have to buy a package. So, Curtis, I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise, but you have to actually buy phone service when you go on a cruise. So for there not to be any phone service out there on the island doesn't seem far-fetched to me. So, yeah. We don't know what happened, Larry Holmes, and there was no blunt force trauma because the medical examiner did not say that. He said he had he saw bruising under his scalp. He said he didn't know how it got there, and the autopsy was pending investigation. So he said that there were no broken bones, and he couldn't see that there was any bruising to his body. So any statements like that is just, speculation and conjecture. Now, the first autopsy, on the other hand, they got the body 2 days right as it got out of the water. So they can pretty much better ascertain what happened than the second medical examiner, because he got the body after it had been autopsied, when it was already decomposed. The first examiner probably has better answers. So cruises make more money. Used to be free Wi-Fi. Well, I guess it depends on which cruise you're on. Metal Gear Salmon. Salmon. It depends. It just depends, I guess. But I know that the cruise lines that I know everybody are taking, they always have to pay for packages to be able to use the phone. That's okay. I didn't say, I said, I don't listen, you know, when it comes to things like this, and guys, please help me out in the like department, like real quick. You guys can give me some likes. One of my chats I have 2 chats going right now. One has 4 likes, and the other one has 23 likes. And that's just, that's crazy. 119 people in the chat, and 41 likes. Let's get some more likes. So you have to pay for your Wi-Fi, just left the cruise. That's what I thought, Yolanda, and I don't even get on cruises. I don't play that. Okay. Thank you, DM. You know what? And that's how, DM, that's exactly where we have to get to the point where we can say, we can agree to disagree and say, you know what, I don't see it this way. Because if someone comes in this chat and says something and it makes sense, I'm gonna be woman enough to say, you know what, I didn't think about that. You're right. That does sound plausible. Thank you for liking, DM. I'm gonna say that. Because we're all just making assumptions and speaking from our own experiences. Your perception is not based on reality. You know that, right? That's why witnesses can all see the same event take place, and they can all have a different perception of what happened, because we all view life based on our experiences, not what's going on, but how we see life. So this whole case is being viewed by the whole entire world, okay, because it's getting that far. Yes, protect yourself when going anywhere. Let your parents know your location. And let me tell you something. My mother has been telling me this since I was a youngin. Always let somebody know where you are. Before cell phones, well, they had cell phones, but before everyone had a cell phone glued to their hand, like an extra appendage, my mother always told me, always let someone know where you're at. Someone know who you're with. And I always do that. I don't go on dates because I'm divorced now. I don't go on dates. I don't go meet up with friends. I don't go anywhere and no one knows where I'm at. I always have my cell phone with me. So you're going to track me. You're going to track me. But yes, I'm going to keep you guys, with any new updates, I'm going to make sure you guys know what's going on. And we will continue to follow this story. And we're going to get to the bottom of this, hopefully. Hopefully someone saw what happened, because someone even came out with a video. They just happened to catch Nolan, who is believed to be Nolan, like on a boat going in a cooler. And that was at like 2 p.m., I think, that metadata from that phone came up. So yeah, keep Nolan's family in your prayers, and keep, your kids close to you. Talk to your kids. because nothing happens by happenstance. This was for all of us not to be divided. This wasn't meant to divide us. This was meant to say, hey, talk to your kids more. Hug your kids a little bit closer. Know who your kids' friends are, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Making sure that we put our kids up on game. Hey, look at Nolan. See what I mean? See what I mean? This is what happens. There was something that happened this just recently. And I told my daughter, I said, see what I mean? This is why I don't like you going out to house parties. You always want to go and hang out with friends and say, well, there's a house party. I don't do house parties. I don't do my kid going anywhere. And she's 19 with people I don't know. And I don't know their parents, and I don't know how their parents get down, because that makes a world of difference. Not that their kids don't act different when they get away from, their parents' watchful gaze, but how kids are brought up and how they are raised says a lot about who they are as individuals, right? I know my kid does some of everything. She's no angel. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. But I keep her prayed up. And I know about 75% of what goes on with her, because you don't know. You don't know your kids. You don't know your kids like you think you do. I can guarantee you that. All right. So, yeah, we're moving on to the next story. Nolan, I hope they find out, what happened to you. I do. Your family deserves to know, and, but this weekend, Oprah was on Keke Palmer's podcast, and she revealed some interesting tidbits. Very interesting, to say the least. When I think of Oprah, I think of someone who is classy. I think of someone who is educated, rich, well-spoken. I look at Oprah, and I know a lot of people don't like her, and a lot of people find fault with her these days because, I don't know, she just had a lot of bad press lately. I was surprised to see her being interviewed on Keke Palmer's platform. And shout out to Keke, because she's getting all the looks right now. She recently had an interview with Michelle Obama. She's just getting a lot of good looks. Keke has a great career, and I wish her nothing but the best. She seems like that girl that everybody is cool with. She handles herself very well. But anyway, guys, Oprah was on her show, and Oprah said that she used to be a foot dragging bird, like just really out there when it came to men. I guess perhaps it was a part of her, growing up in the environment that she did. She saw women being mistreated by men physically, emotionally, and she vowed to never be that woman. But yet and still, Oprah says that she had boyfriends who would put her down and say, you're not special. And she said, because I'm that girl that if a man would have told me you're not special, I'm going to roll my neck, top my, and who. But I kind of get where Oprah is coming from, because I've been that girl too. I stand there and argue and try to prove, yes, I am special, instead of being like, bye, because if you don't think I'm special, you don't need to be in my face. But Oprah said that, she said, no, I'm not special. And actually, Oprah said that the guy drove off from her, and while she was holding onto his bumper. And when he drove off and said, skirt, she fell down and scratched up her knees. Oprah. Yes, the Oprah Winfrey. You think they're jealous of Oprah? I don't know. I think that Oprah made a lot of strides, and I think she has an aspirational story for not just Black women, but women, period. Oprah, did the doggone thing as a media mogul. She showed what's possible. She owned her own production company, she owns the Oprah Winfrey Show. Not a lot of people were doing that back then. Nobody expected her to make it. And, here she is coming up, trying to, reach for the stars. And, it just made me see that, no matter where someone is in life, no matter how much education that they have, no matter how much money they have, we're all just the same, right? And Oprah's no different than anybody else. We all make mistakes when it comes to men. We women do, right? So I just thought, it would be cool to bring her up and talk about her with you guys and get your take on it and hear what you had and see what you had to say about it. What do you guys think about Oprah? Her man is driving off in the car and they're like, could you imagine? And she's holding on to the bumper trying to get him to stop. Like that butt wipe that did that to her. That's crazy. I know he's probably beating himself up now. Could you imagine being that guy that treated Oprah like that? I used to love her, not so much now. She has done some shady stuff and has horrific allegations regarding her school for girls. Yes, her school for girls did have some bad press. And most recently, she brought up some incident that took place with Whitney Houston when Whitney Houston was alive. And a lot of people were like, you didn't even need to say that. Like, why would you bring that up? And she's been doing that a lot, saying, talking out of turn. She's 71 or how old is she? About 70 something. She's lost all that weight. And, I get when you get older, you have the notion that you should be able to say what you want to say. But Oprah, you're still Oprah and you still got to keep it PC. You know what I mean? Definitely. But yes, Kiki, she has a show on YouTube, a pod on YouTube. And I haven't really watched it, but I just saw a clip of this and then I ended up seeing the whole show. Because sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I'm not all the way up and I'm just browsing through, YouTube, or I'm browsing, my timeline, getting ready for you guys, or just seeing what's going on. I'm into popular culture and I'll see things and I'm like, oh, let me check this out. But she just talked a lot about, and if you are an entrepreneur or you're someone who is trying to make it to the next level and you don't have a lot of confidence, I think you should watch it because I'm that girl. I'm someone who is pivoting. I retired from one career. I'm moving on to another. I'm doing all this content stuff, all this YouTube stuff. I'm an author and I'm not always confident about myself. Sometimes I just do it anyway, because you got to do it whether you're confident or not. And sometimes I'm like, well, maybe it's not for me. Maybe, God, this isn't, and I ask God all the time, am I headed in the right direction? And sometimes I feel like no, but God will always say, keep going. And when I listened to her today and I listened to Kiki explain how they, have faith and how they, work hard, but how they have faith in themselves to keep going, even when nobody else believed in them. Because when Oprah first came to the game, nobody believed that she would be who she is today. Like, they were just like, okay, whatever. They were just basically saying, okay, do whatever you want. So, there was really, and who was there for Oprah to look up to and say, you know what, I'm going to be just like that person. There was no Oprah back then. There was nobody doing what she was doing. I think you had Donna Hugh, you had Sally Jesse Raphael, you had Geraldo. But, and they were pretty much the talk shows back then that people tuned into. But you didn't really have an Oprah. Thank you, DM. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oprah has a lot of skeletons because she moved in a lot of hush-hush circles. Money makes you feel like there aren't boundaries you have to respect. Well, a lot of people talk about her relationship with Harvey Weinstein and, different people like that. So, I remember him, the Robert Downey show. That's where they used to throw the chairs, right? But there were talk shows, but there weren't any talk shows, Matthew, at the heights that Oprah's show was. I mean, Oprah was huge and she crossed color lines. Everybody was tuned into Oprah. When the Oprah Winfrey show came on, all housewives were tuned in. It didn't matter where you were from or what you look like. Everybody, if Oprah said go buy it, if you have the opportunity to have one of your products on Oprah's show, if you were an author, like just imagine me being an author and being able to go have Oprah co-sign it with Oprah's book club. You think Lucille Ball can be compared to Oprah? Oprah's a talk show host. She did some acting as well. But yeah, Lucille Ball did own her. Did she own her show? But was she as rich as Oprah? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody else down or just to elevate Oprah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that as far as her being a Black woman, a woman in media, she had her own magazine. She did a lot, you know, and many people respected her. No, Eagle says they've always lied about Oprah Winfrey's net worth. There's no way she's worth $3.4 billion and she allegedly been stuck at that amount for the last 20 years. Well, the net worth is always just what somebody is worth, right? It's just like that number, like if they were to sell it, you know. I don't think it's necessarily how much money they have in the bank or even how much property they own, right? Or how many stocks they have. I think it's how much I think they base it off of what their possibility, you know, like what's possible for them to earn. I don't know, but I would, I would say that she probably has a lot of money. She should. That Oprah Winfrey show made her a lot of money. That old magazine made her a lot of money. Then she had the old network. She had the magazine. She had the TV show. She had the network. Okay. She had a lot going for herself. So, you know, and there was a time when if Oprah co-signed it, that was it. If she co-signed a movie, Oprah, in my opinion, was one of the biggest reasons Obama got into office. Remember when Obama came on Oprah's show? When Oprah co-signed him, like I said, it was Black women watching her and it was white women watching her. Oprah was, she was not someone who was just for African Americans. Oh, Roscoe. Lucille Ball broke into TV production owner as a woman to put on Black talent. Was she? I used to watch Lucille Ball all the time. I used to love I Love Lucy. Back in the day, we didn't have cable, and I Love Lucy came on every day. I think I've watched every last episode. Back then, I could probably, do every line with her. I love Lucille Ball. She was so funny and so ridiculous, a comedic genius. I mean, when no one is perfect. Yes, she launched Dr. Phil, Ayanna Vazan, and she owned Dr. Phil too, didn't she? And Ayanna Vazan, didn't she own their and I want to say what was her name? The one that had the OVO, the one that I think she launched all of those careers. So you have to realize she was responsible for those productions too. So she got paid from that. But they say to become a billionaire, you got to step on a few people in order to become a billionaire. You guys hit my like button, please. Thank you. Hitting the like button is free. Dr. Oz, right, Bert? See, that's what money getters. I don't know it all. Thank you guys for reminding me. Thanks for holding me down in the chat. But yeah, so check out Keke Palmer's show. Gosh, I wish all the research I did, I didn't even get the name of her show. Let me see real quick. Baby, this is Keke Palmer. That's what it's called. Baby, this is Keke Palmer. And it's only been up for a day and it's already at almost 300,000 views. Kiki's getting the views over there. One day, Kiki, I'm gonna be coming for you, okay? One day, this time by next month, y'all gonna be like, you said you was gonna get those views, yeah. And I got 300K. Hey, Crystal's World, what's good? Thanks for tuning in, boo. That's what they say, no ego. You don't become a billionaire with clean hands. I mean, if you're a believer, the Bible says, it's easier for a camel to get in the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. Catch that. Okay, we're gonna move on from Oprah, okay? Because you know what? It's just us giving our opinions. That's what we do over here. We give our opinions, we share ideals, we talk amongst ourselves, and we don't get mad and start insulting one another. We don't get mad over an opinion that's not gonna make or break anybody. Like, you can speak your, you know what I'm saying? You can speak your mind. I love hearing people say things that are contrary to me because I'll debate you and I'll speak my mind and I'll say my points. Okay. But what I don't like, you think Zendaya would be her replacement? But they do two different things. I think that Zendaya is definitely an it girl, but she's more into fashion. I know Zendaya more for fashion. I know she had that show Euphoria, but I've never seen that one episode. Okay. And I know she's a Disney kid, right? Thank you, DM21. I appreciate you. Look at you. See how we turned that around? I don't know. I think Zendaya is definitely a young legend in the making, but so is Kiki, and they can both coexist in the same spaces. You know what I mean? It's okay for everybody. I mean, my mother's been saying this a lot lately. It's enough for all of us to get some. I believe it's enough for anybody to get it. We don't have to like compare and all of that. We're all going to have our faves, right? I've never really seen her I never really seen how she, I never really seen her in anything but a magazine. I've never seen Zendaya do anything but, look fab, and I know Law Roach, her stylist, that's what I know her for, being styled by Law Roach and having all these fabulous clothes. I don't really know her work. She's gonna be in, and I know she just got married, right? What's her husband's name? Isn't he gonna be Spider-Man? She's gonna be in Spider-Man and Doom 3. She's got some things coming down the pipeline. Absolutely. Definitely gives Zendaya her things. In no way, shape, or form would I, discount her. But I was just saying, specifically Kiki, because I've been seeing her making a lot of moves lately. And that's all. I hadn't really been watching Kiki's show either until I saw that little, revelation that Oprah made, that she was chasing after a man and, getting drugged down the street. So, okay. All right, we got a few more topics, and we spent a lot of time on Nolan. You guys are very interested in Nolan, and rightfully so. And but we're gonna talk about other things as well. So thank you guys who stuck with me, and who thank you all who are still here. I appreciate you. I love you guys for that. Thank you for holding me down. So next topic is Cardi B. Cardi B says she's hip hop's Britney Spears. What you mean, Cardi B? Are you going under conservatorship? I mean, what does that mean? Cardi finally addressed the nonstop attention surrounding her rumored relationship with Nigerian soccer star Maduka Okoye. Okay? Instead of confirming or denying the relationship, Cardi talked about how overwhelming the public attention has become. She said, I'm really hip hop's Britney Spears. And come on, Cardi, like, I think that she's someone who is definitely a polarizing figure. a lot of people like Cardi B because of her keep it real attitude, right? She's, another fashion girly. Some love her for her music, but I think most people love her because she keeps it real, right? However, Cardi, girl, I think you are the most drama-filled person that's a celebrity. Like, what other celebrities has all the drama that Cardi B has? I mean, you went from being married to with Stefan to being his baby mama, one of several of his baby mamas. Now you're with this Nigerian guy who is fine. Okay, Maduka is fine, and I will put it all. I'm gonna tell you right now. I said it before. I said it again. I will put it all on the line for Maduka, but quietly, like real quiet on the freak. And I think that's what Cardi does not get. You are a celebrity. Cardi, got it out of the mud, as they say. She's someone who was just on Instagram speaking her mind like me, okay? But from the strip club, unlike me, I'm at home, okay, raising my kiddos, tucked off in the chair. But she got on because she was just someone on the internet speaking her mind and people gravitated to her. And that's how she, blew up like she did. She deserves everything that she has because she's willing to get out there and put in the work. One thing you can't say about Cardi is she does not grind. Okay. She loves her kids. I love that about her. And I also love how Cardi shows others love for whatever reason. Shamar is a disabled internet personality as well. And, a lot of people make fun of Shamar. A lot of people may bully Shamar, but Shamar has a little bit of talent, low key, and he has music out as well. But Cardi was his hype man, hyping him up. You know what I mean? I think she meant, honestly, no ego. And which one of my kids is playing in bleach? I think she said that because Britney Spears gets a lot of publicity, and back in the day she got a lot of publicity. But recently Britney Spears was on the 101 freeway here in California, popped out of her Mercedes G-Wagon out the top of it, rolling down the freeway. So that's why she gets attention. She's getting out of the cars, flashing, everybody going to clubs where the media is at, staked out at. If you don't want to be seen, you don't have to be seen. You're all out on the balcony with this guy. And then today she said that she doesn't know what it is about her, but every time she gets with a guy, here comes a baby mama. They all get upset about her. It's like whenever it comes to her, all the women want to get, like Cardi, come on, like save it. For real, I think it's just that you are attracting those type of men with those type of baby mamas, because if you were with a decent man, he don't have a baby mama on a decent man. A man that's worth having doesn't have a baby mama in the background, popping on social media, talking mess about me. She does support those others may discount. She does. Why do people need to be hyped up if you are already up? What does that mean? I don't know. But yeah, so I guess she was kind of saying that, she said if she just so much as looks at a guy, then the, media is all over her. So she kind of alluded to the fact that she's dating him. She said she hadn't dated the whole time she was on tour. She said, I wasn't dating. I was on tour. I didn't date anybody. And I don't just get out here with men like this. I mean, this is the third man in, as many years. You just had a baby. That baby's not even one. And she was like, well, I'm not going to be single forever. Okay. But I think that you can be more private if you don't want people in your business. And if you don't want people saying things about you, it's a way to do anything. We only know your business because you showed us your business. I don't think anybody was going out saying, spreading this rumor until they saw you on the balcony, pulling your hair behind your ear and, you know, showing all 32 teeth. So, that's how we know. But she does have a lot in common with Britney. They both have limited talent and have been overexposed. You said that no ego, not me. You being real shady in the comments, no ego. I didn't say that, no ego said that. They are not dating. They have the same stylist. This dude is just trying to beat the allegations. Well, Shirley, I don't know if they're dating. She didn't say that they were not dating. She didn't say that they are. But she kind of alluded to it. She said, she kind of alluded to it. Like if you go and watch, and I don't put these clips up just because I don't want to get dinged for copyright. So, but it's out there on X or on YouTube. You will see. I went to the neighborhood talk today and I saw or heard the clips of her live today. So you can go hear her and you can make of what she said what you would. But you know what I'm saying? So, I just would advise any mother, if you have children, be careful who you date. Because even if your children never meet the person you date, right? If they never meet that person you date, if things don't go well, that's your mental health that's affected. And that kind of, plays into how you mom. So just make sure that you are always dating people that are good, like in case you do want to introduce your children to them, right? Already Stefan has all these allegations against him. I mean, he's been sued. He's been brought up on charges. I mean, they have so many things they're saying about Stefan. It's not even funny. And now you got this new dude with a, bitter baby mama, because she is a bitter baby mama, because why are you getting on the internet talking about your baby daddy like that? Girl, just dragging your baby daddy because he's dating Cardi B. It's going to be over pretty soon anyway. They're not going to last. I don't see it lasting. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Cardi B and Maduka is going anywhere but a few dates, possibly a few weeks hooking up. Let me know. No ego, be good, be nice. I don't think they're going anywhere. So, let her have her fun. Let her do her. She has a right. Yeah. So that's the Cardi B tea. This is them in Italy. Okay. This is Cardi and Maduka in Paris during Paris Fashion Week. So I don't know what's going on with them. So I can't say for sure with certainty, because she did say, yes, I'm dating him. But she did allude to that. So, and, I can read between the lines. And I'm sure you all can too, if you think a little bit. So what do we have up next? Let's talk about, y'all, please, this one right here. So, like I said, some of these people are gluttons for punishment. Any press will do. You know how they said there's no such thing as bad publicity? Well, I guess, Dr. Cheyenne must believe that, right? And when I say doctor, I mean, with 2 quotes on either side. She recently got in on the, let me see. Some of you guys get way too mad. Like, I guess, we all get a little passionate at times, but some of you guys get way too mad about this stuff. I mean, we're just talking and kikiing and gossiping and having fun. This is the group chat, okay? This is just me letting you in on the group chat I have with my sisters or whatever, just our private conversations, laughing or whatever. Big Low. I can't put that up, but Big Low, you silly. Y'all crazy in the chat. The chat is going up today. Y'all got me laughing over here. He said he probably don't want to be a stepdad. He's only 26. Maduka is only 26. 26. Cardi, you got all that money, all that fame. So I think you want to tread lightly as well, because you don't know who's for you and who just wants to get that good look from you. I told you guys last time that Maduka is alleged to be one of the more, how do I say, broker soccer players. He's not one of the rich ones that has the, heavy contracts. That's what the streets say. Like, he's one of the ones that gets like 1.5 million, a year. Meanwhile, the others get like 300-400 mil. I don't know. So he's younger than her. He got the baby mama drama, and I hear he don't even have money like that. He's cute as hell. So Cardi, and have a good time. Sometimes, and I don't know why people don't let people have their fun. Let people have their fun. It don't always got to be a marriage made in heaven. I mean, I am a Christian, and I do believe that, a man and woman should be married before they partake in relations, but not everybody believes what I believe, and not everybody is as virtuous as I am. However, these are young people. They're going to do what they're going to do, and let them have their fun. But like I said, Cardi, if you don't want people in your business, people don't have to be in your business. I think 4, she got those 2 under 2. I think 4 is enough. She was just in Paris, came home real quick, and gave Culture a little B-Day party that she was right back out in Italy. I don't know about anybody else's, but I'm not leaving mine like that. But she did just come off tour. So I guess she went on vacation a little bit, let her hair down, unwind and whatever. Her mama and her father got the kids, so they're straight, I guess. But okay, guys, people gonna do what they're gonna do. And a lot of her fans are saying, Cardi, have fun, just don't get pregnant. And I agree, girl, don't get pregnant. I mean, because all it takes is whoops, and there you go. With his baby mama, honey, his baby mama is going to be worse than all 10 Stefan's baby mamas, because they like to, Stefan's baby mamas keep quiet. They might post a little something, a little picture, a little shoe, a little something, but for the most part, they're quiet. Thank you for the 100, Lisa. Thank you, guys. Thank you. No, it doesn't need to be that serious. I'm just speaking on the fact, like I said, before the baby mama drama stuff, I said, Cardi, have your fun. Like, normally I would be like, you're a mom, you need to put it on ice, but he's fine. Okay? Have your fun. However, she's upset because people have been dragging her, especially, I mean, go back and watch my last live about these two, and I told you all of the tea that his baby mama dropped about him. But today, an ex-girlfriend of Maduka said that the baby mama lied. She showed a text message from the baby mama saying that he never put his hands on me. So the ex-girlfriend said that the baby mama did the same thing to her when she was dating Maduka. She said Maduka has not been dating this baby mama in 3 years, but she's a scorned ex and she won't let go. I don't care if he was dating her or not. She's trouble. So who needs to deal with that? You're Cardi B. You got money. You just came off a successful tour. You're an A-list rapper. Girl, you tell him to meet you when it's dark. You say, no. Like, I'm not just anybody, boy. I gotta watch my back. You don't let him meet you down to Italy all out in the open where everybody can see. That's how everybody keeps talking about you. Nobody won't know your business if you don't tell them your business. They only know because you all out in the open. So that's why I brought it up today. Cardi's like, I'm Britney Spears. I see why Britney Spears. Girl, stay home with your kids and then be like, you know what, tell your assistant or somebody, yeah, have him meet me at the motel. Yeah, I'm gonna be up over such and such. Okay, right. Or have him meet me down to the, Aruba. They still find out, people find out somebody gonna see you anyway, girl. I mean, just do you and don't say nothing. Nobody doesn't know unless you confirm it. People can speculate all they want, but they don't know until you confirm it. But we're gonna stay on top of this. Okay. If I find out anything about this stuff, I'm gonna let y'all know, none of the worry. But y'all, we already been on here for 2 hours. I gotta finish this show because I don't got all night. All right. Back to Cheyenne, okay? Cheyenne did the Netflix challenge. She said her Netflix would be a documentary about how in episode 1, everyone is asking, and is she really a doctor? And then episode 2 through 10, it will investigate why complete, I can barely see this on here, sorry guys, why complete, jealous, envious haters tried to prove she wasn't. Cheyenne, you done lost your damn mind. First of all, nobody was talking about you. The whole nation is concerned with Nolan, and here you come with your fake degrees trying to be seen. Oh, Lisa says Maduka has 1 to 2 million based on publicly reported earnings. Lisa, check for us how much Cardi B has. Okay. Oh, he makes less than $1 million a year, Candy? You know what? I was going to talk about that, but we only need so. Lisa, we'll talk about that soon. Okay. If I get, let me set a super chat goal. If I get one $10 super chat, I'm gonna stay on here for 3 hours. If I get just one $10 super chat, they don't pay us for this live stuff, and you guys don't even hit the like button. I'm just over here just running my mouth. Nobody won't even hit the damn like button. But I'm having fun with you guys tonight, so I'll stay on here, whether I get the $10 a night or not. But give me 10 more likes or something, make it worth my while. 100 million. Cardi, you got 100 million, and Maduka got 1 million. Girl, he looking for a place to stay. He looking for a place to lay his head. He needs somebody to he gonna come eat your kids' cereal up, girl. And then those are always the ones, right? The ones who look good, who don't really have nothing to offer you, who got a bunch of drama. And then before you know it, you're just having fun. You're just meeting up with him down to Italy. And before you know it, you're all in love, okay? And Cardi likes to set up baby mamas and have people assaulted and stuff like that. Girl, you and that baby mama gonna be chunking them over Maduka because she's not going down without a fight. Girl. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, we have fun over here. Nolan is more important than Cardi and who she's dating. I agree. That's what they said, Candy. That's what they said, that he like both. He like everybody. Yes, she does. Okay, let's get back on topic. Okay, guys, let's get back on topic. Okay, we'll go back to Cardi after we finish up our topics because I do have a whole outline. Let's stay focused. Yeah, but I did a brief video about her when, everybody was on her case. And since it has died down, you would think she would just chill out and kick back. But I fear you are right. She has main character syndrome. She wants to be talked about, even if it's bad. I don't know what that is behind her. Can anybody see? Because I got, the bifocals on, but I still can't see anybody spot. Thanks for the 100, Lisa J. And can anybody spot a degree, a doctorate back there? Let me know if you see it, because I can't see it. Who cares if she had a doctorate? It's just the whole point that you keep lying about it. It's the same thing. Everybody wants to lie to kick it. I think that Cheyenne's a beautiful woman, and she has personality and charisma. I think she could have got on. I mean, look at Cardi B. Cardi B got where she is just being herself. I think that she would. Thank you, Latadra, for the 100. I appreciate you. I think that she could have got right even further. I think she could have sold books. I think Dr. Phil is not even a real doctor, or he was a doctor and he had to give it up or something. I don't know. But there's a lot of TV doctors. You could have been a TV doctor, but it was when you said you had like 5 doctorates. She said she had 5. Did she say that? Or something like that? It was when you got on here with they closed the school down and my transcripts got eaten by my dog and what matter if it's fake? I mean, I feel like she said that she wasn't practicing anyway. She's a psychology expert. And anyway, y'all just jealous anyway, because that's what Cheyenne said. Anybody who questions if she's really a doctor is really just jealous. That's what she even said. Look, you guys are jealous and envious haters. I don't know. I got my degree, honestly. I didn't get it. And let me not say that because y'all gonna be mad at me, honey, but I had to actually walk in the brick and mortar college, walk up those steps to the library, go digging through books, dusty books, pull them out and study and write 15 and 20-page essays. I did that stuff. I had to actually study while having a little baby, pulling on my skirt hem, like mama. I'm sitting here shaking the baby and reading the book because I had a baby when I was in college. Okay, but I did that. I got my degree for real. Okay, for real. So more power to her though, but stop making a mockery out of it, because you do have a lot of people who believed in you, and you do have a lot of people who watched you and who looked up to you. And for you to lie, I mean, it's like, and what it does is it dampers people's hope, right? Because somebody may have been looking up to Cheyenne. Cheyenne is from South Central Los Angeles, I believe. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. And sometimes people who come from these poor communities, they need somebody to look up to. And somebody may have been looking up to you, and the whole time you're a fraud and a fake. Or somebody may have taken some of your advice and thought because you're a doctor that you could be trusted, and the whole time you're a fraud and a fake. I mean, you are the psychology expert, so anyway, I think we have one last who do we have to talk about last? Let's get you get your lion neck on off of the screen. Go tell your lies somewhere else. Okay, we have one last topic, and then we can have a free for all. I just need you guys to hit the like button for me. And make sure you subscribe, because I will be back tomorrow, same back time, same back channel. And if you guys would like to hear me talk about something, Lisa, we can talk about I said I would stay for 3 hours. I don't know. If y'all hit the like button, I might. Right. What does it mean to have all the degrees without the Holy Spirit, right? She says she's a Christian. She said, God knows who I am. She already said that, Barbara Davis, 7200, keep up. She said, God knows who she is. So she doesn't have to prove anything to you anyway, Barbara. Barbara, this is Shirley. All right, LeBron, where is he going? You know, the commissioner of the NBA, I don't know. What is his name? I almost had it at the tip of my tongue. I don't know. I don't follow them like that. But I went to go see LeBron play with the Lakers this past February. I think I did a video and I think I posted it on here. I can't remember if it's members only. But I'm gonna start putting a lot of that old content stuff in my members only. I don't know which direction this channel. I'll be doing everything. I just be throwing everything. I just be taking stuff and throwing it at the wall with my YouTube channel. But we're gonna see where we end up at. But anyway, I went to go see LeBron and his son play. LeBron is huge. That was the first time I saw him play in all these years, right? That's crazy. But we had nice seats, and you know, LeBron did his thing. At first, the Lakers were losing, and then he brought it up. I mean, he got to it. And I told my kids, I said, this may be the last time we get to see LeBron play, because I honestly thought LeBron was going to reach Adam Silver. Thank you, No Ego. I almost had it right there. The man with the glasses, the tall, skinny, white guy with the glasses, right? I almost had it. That's why I need you guys to hold me down in the chat, because I'm telling you, I just be talking and running my mouth, forgetting over here. You guys got to hold me down. But yeah, he said that they were waiting on LeBron to determine where he was going so that they could get the schedule ready. So what is he saying? LeBron is the whole NBA? I guess that's what it is, right? But LeBron said that he would announce it soon. He didn't want to just pick anywhere to go. He said he was definitely interested in picking a winning team, but his family, thank you, Lisa, hit the like button, please, that his family was going to be the determining factor, especially his daughter Zuri, as to where he was going to go. So that was really important to him. But the NBA accidentally tweeted out that he's going to the Miami Heat, and then the Miami Heat accidentally showed something that said he was coming there as well. So I think LeBron will be headed to the Miami Heat. It could be, you know, all the rules, things could change, but that's what it's looking like. How do you guys feel about LeBron going to Miami to play for the Heat? Are you guys excited about it? Do you care? Yes. Are you subscribed? If not, subscribe. We're doing a moving over here. Make sure you are subscribed. And make sure you get your membership so you can become an official money getter. Because like I said, I'm going to start doing some different type of lives just for the members only, some more personal lives where we can really, you know, hang out and chill and talk about stuff. And, you know, get into some things. But yes, guys, we had a great show today. Kudos to all of you for tuning in. I'm seeing a lot of people come back, so that lets me know you like what I'm offering over here, and I appreciate that. I don't take it for granted. You don't have to come and listen to me. You don't have to chat or anything. They are using him. Curtis says they are using him. They are trying to figure out where they want him. He really doesn't have no say-so where to go. He doesn't? You think LeBron can't decide where he going? I think that's, you know, yeah, LeBron games are usually scheduled on key dates like Christmas games and primetime games. Oh, okay. If you think LeBron don't get to say where he go, you are crazy. That was like Kobe. Kobe got to determine who he was going to play with and where he was going. Kobe was the NBA. Jordan, LeBron, don't think for 1 minute that these guys don't have a say. They bring millions. Listen, money talks and everything else walks. If LeBron say he want to go to a certain team, he's going. No, he's no spring chicken, but who else is going to take his place? Who else is going to take LeBron's place? Kobe, the dearly departed Kobe, is gone. He was retired anyway, right? But who else is a franchise player? I know that we do have, a lot of good guys out there, but when you think of basketball, when LeBron leaves, who's up next? Who's up next? Y'all let me know, because, like I said, it took me forever just to go see him down in LA, and I'm just right around the corner. So, I like the basketball, I like sports and all of that, but I was just doing something, because it was February, it was my birthday, just something to do. But Lisa, what was because then they give that lady a yeah. So do we have any Heat fans in here or any Laker fans? I'm always gonna go with Lakers because that's just what I grew up seeing. My mom is a Lake Show fan. My mom do not play. You cannot call her, you cannot talk to her when the Lakers are playing. She's not going for it. And my mom has always been a Lake Show fan since I was a kid. But okay. Oops. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. What? What does that have to? We're not even talking about Diddy, Deborah. Okay, so yeah, he do. You think Wemby plays for the New York Knicks, right, Candy? He do in the circumstances, but he almost in his career, his time's up for him. Y'all gotta use punctuations now, Curtis. Not trying to be funny. You know, Mommy Money Getter can barely see or talk, and it looks like I can barely read. So help me out here. Yeah, I heard Wemby's name being said a lot during the playoffs, but I'm not, to sports like that. And I just know the big names that get talked about a lot. And I do remember Wemby is that tall, real tall guy, right? He's very tall. Oh, San Antonio Spurs. He's 7'6". Wow. Like he doesn't even have to even like run up to the ball. He just to the net. He just dumps it in, right? That's tall. They say people that tall don't have a long lifespan. I'm bringing the chat down, sorry. But let's talk about shout outs to before I go into that, shout outs to LeBron on whatever team he goes to. I hope he wins a championship since that is what he seems to be after. We'll see. We will see. But I don't have a picture up because I didn't anticipate talking about this, but my girl Lisa was interested in talking about the mom who off the guy, her name is Kendra Scott. She got a $100,000 bail. She's the mom that shot and offed or unalived the 20-year-old that was hiding under her 13-year-old's bed. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because like sometimes, you see this stuff and you just can't read another thing. Sometimes I read it real quick and I scroll past. But I'm sorry guys, I'm getting hot. They said that the guy that she shot was actually I guess he had diminished capacity. He wasn't really somebody that, maybe he's 20, but he had the mind of a more like a 10-year-old or 13-year-old. And he was actually leaving the house and she shot him anyway. That's crazy. And the 13-year-old was on social media saying, F my mama. which is crazy. And her mom's crazy too. I don't know why she did that. I mean, I don't know if he's slow. I mean, is that politically incorrect to say slow? Can I say slow? Or can I say differently able? How do I say that? Because I'm not, that's what we said growing up, where I'm from, and that might be a slur. So if it is, please don't get mad at me because, you know, my best friends are slow. Um, I'm slow. But there was a grown man up under her child's bed. She was protecting her home. Now, what I read was, and what I read is they said, oh, special needs. I don't know how special he was because he was going to go get some from a 13-year-old. That don't sound right. He was hiding under a child's bed trying to go be. What was he doing in that girl's house, in that girl's bedroom? Something he had no business. And you know he got to have a little something wrong because why would you go into sneak into a 13-year-old's bedroom? They said the 13-year-old told him, come on over. And the mom had already told her if she caught anybody there, what she would do. But they said he was walking away when she did it. I don't know. I wasn't there and I don't have a lot of details, but according to the neighborhood talk, and this all happened in Memphis, she got a $100K bail today. And it says a judge has granted bond to the 36-year-old Memphis mother accused of fatally shooting 20-year-old Rodarius Morton after allegedly finding him hiding under the bed of her 13-year-old daughter. On Monday, a judge granted Kendra Scott, that's the woman who did it, a $100,000 bond during her first court appearance. According to investigators, Scott returned home in the early morning hours of July 16th. This just happened, guys, and allegedly discovered Morton underneath her daughter's bed. Police said Scott later told officers, I did what I had to do. Girl, now you're going to be in the big house, and who's going to protect your daughter now? And your daughter is mad at you and cussing you out on social media. So you would have been better off just calling the cops on him and letting the law handle it. And I want to say that, you know, let the law handle it if it's possible. Now, if somebody is in your house and they're attacking your child or they're coming for you, do what you got to do. But if you know, and 13-year-old is a child. 13 years old is a child. No stretch of the imagination. That is a kid. But the 13-year-old invited him over. So get him up out your house and go in on your 13-year-old because, first of all, what's going on with your 13-year-old that she's seeking out that kind of attention? I'm going to tell you right now, and some of you, you know, because a lot of you parents are delusional. I've been there, done that. My oldest daughter, I got 5 of them. My oldest daughter told me by the time I got to the third daughter, she said, Mama, you think you would have learned by now? And she said, I did it. So-and-so did such and such. Now she said, you still haven't learned, Mama? I have all these girls over here, but she was right. These girls, you know, we love our daughters and we love our kids and we want what's best for them. And we think we're teaching them right. We're showing them a great example. And, but yeah, they like, once they get 13, 14, they start liking boys and things like that. Now, if you have shown your child love, in most cases, if you have raised them with virtue and if you have paid them some kind of attention, right, then you're not going to really have daughters who are seeking out, you know, relationships at 13. You feel me, Curtis? For the most part, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna probably like a boy or something like that, but they're not gonna try to sneak boys in the house, or they're not gonna try to sneak out and see a boy. That doesn't usually happen until around 16, 17. Okay, that's when the girls really start wanting to, you know, show their little behinds, right? But again, if you are invested in your kids' lives and if you talk to them and put them up on game, you show them love and stuff like that, then they're not really seeking out attention from others because they're getting it at home. Not saying that that's an absolute. Lisa said he had learning disabilities, function at a younger capacity, no excuses. He should be that part. He should be monitored. But some people let their kids go outside, even though they have a diminished capacity. Some people still let them, go out and do things, but you do, all the stuff that happens in this world is nothing new. It's nothing new under the sun, but all these things happen as learning opportunities for us all. Because just because these kids have learning disabilities, a 20-year-old boy is still a 20-year-old boy. And he's still going through puberty, and he still likes girls. Even though he may be diminished capacity, even though he may be special needs, okay? He still may need to be put in positions to where he has time to spend with women around his own age. Because if he has the capacity of a 13-year-old, just because he's 20, let's talk about that. If a 20-year-old man has the mind of a 10-year-old, what do? Do you treat him the same way as a 10-year-old? I mean, obviously he's too old, because look at it this way. Okay, because this has happened too. We know of situations where women who are diminished capacity, where they have been taken advantage of by men, and they have been impregnated and different things like that. There are laws against taking advantage of someone with diminished capacity. It's just like you're taking advantage of a child. This is all so confusing. Lisa, why are we talking about this? Like, this was not on my outline. Now I'm all confused. What do? Obviously, you instantly want to say, okay, it's wrong. He's 20. The child is 13. But if the man is thinking like a 10-year-old, is he 10 or is he 20? Official police affidavits and media reports indicate that the 13-year-old daughter is not identified as having special needs. Right. This is crazy, y'all. Anyway, she shouldn't have shot that boy. If he was walking away, and that's what the reports are saying as well, he was walking away. Call the police. Listen, even if somebody is kicking down your door, somebody can kick down your door, right? And if you don't pop them immediately, if they kick down your door and then they run away, if they're running away, you don't have any claims of self-defense because they ran away. Once somebody is running away with their back towards you, that's M1. Now, most juries probably would, not convict you. I don't know, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, I don't know if she was at work, because this happened early in the morning. Now, was he in the bedroom overnight, Lisa? Lisa, this is your story, girlfriend. Let us know. Was Rodarius in the 13-year-old's room overnight? Is that what happened? She happened to go past the bedroom in the morning after she woke up. Now, Curtis, these kids are pretty crafty. They will sneak somebody in. That's why women and fathers, walk your house and open up doors and see who's in those bedrooms. Listen, like if you hear a bump, make sure you got your cameras on and all that stuff. Listen, should I tell my business or not? Honey, one of my kids tried to turn my cameras off like a dummy because they was leaving. They were leaving out. They didn't want me to see they left out the house. Why the hell would you turn off the cameras? Because as soon as you turn off the cameras, then I'm going to know you turned off the camera. Just a dummy. Anyway. Try to turn off the camera on me, honey. I don't have angels over here. I live a real life over here, and I talk over here. But honey, don't think I'm perfect. Do not think I'm perfect. I was once a teenager sneaking out my mama's house, and don't say, well, if your mama had did this, honey. My mama used to. G-Ma won't like me to say what she used to do, but you know, my mom and my stepfather been together for a long time, and you know, my stepfather didn't do it, but he would get on my mama to get on me and Hope Lene. What them girls doing? Oh, he would get on. He would, like, if a boy was to try to come to their door, he'd tell, man, if you don't get your mammy ass on away from here, you don't get your. And he would have did just what that woman did. He would have did just what that woman did. He did not play. You don't come to his house disrespecting his house, thinking you're gonna knock on the door for one of us. He didn't play. Him or my mama did not play. And we still played in their faces. Me and Hope Lene, we were something else, honey. We still played in my mom's face as many times, you know, and I had the audacity to be ready to raise HE double hockey sticks if my girls even come close to doing. I mean, they don't do none of the stuff I did. I was off. Ooh, Lord, thank God for Jesus. He kept me. It brought me a mighty long way, honey. But I wouldn't have snuck nobody in my mama's house. That's what I wouldn't have done. Because if I had done something like that, G-Ma and G-Ma husband, honey, and people knew not to even, they probably wouldn't even try that anyway. They would have been scared. Nope, I wouldn't have snuck nobody in the house, Curtis. Absolutely not. You got to know what's going on in your house. You know, God just wake me up. He wake me up to pray, and he wake me up walk here. Like once you start reading the word, and I know we're living in a world where many people don't believe, but once you start reading that Bible, you get your butt in that Bible, God gonna say, wake up and pray. And He's gonna say, wake up and go walk your house. Wake up and check your doors. He's gonna tell you, don't go that way today, go this way. All those little things that you ignore or that you don't hear, that's because you're on autopilot, because you don't have a higher power, because you don't believe in God. All those things, when your kids doing all this and that, all that protection is over you. Real talk. But yeah, it was a good conversation. Money getters, come back tomorrow. We're gonna have some more good topics. Let me know in the chat, or email me at cdarrell. I'm gonna put it in here real quick so you guys can see it. You can email me at cdarrell@gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, or topics, and we'll discuss it here. I also have a poll on my community wall about Jodeci. Do we think that they deserve the biopic treatment like New Edition got? Jodeci was everything. Me and Hope Lene, if she comes back this week, we'll probably do a just like a whole 90s R&B show one day soon, maybe this weekend. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. But I'm out of here right now. I'm hot. I'm hot. So see you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and say your prayers before you go to bed tonight. Jesus loves you, and so do I.